The diagram shows the cross-section of a roof of an airplane hangar. AB is equal to 36 meters, BC is equal to 9 meters, and angle ABC is equal to 112 degrees. And here we have a diagram. It says calculate the span AC of the roof to the nearest meter. And so they want us to determine what is AC, this length here, right? So that's the missing side of this triangle, and they want us to determine what is the length of this missing side. Let's label this triangle. We're gonna call this missing side. We're gonna call that the same missing side, AC. We're gonna call it small a. All right, so let's call that missing side small a. And so small a is the missing side. And we do that because if you notice the cosine rule, right here, it says that a squared, which is the missing side, a squared, which is the, a, which is the missing side. So a is the missing side, all right? So the formula involves a, which is the missing side. And the formula says that if we take the missing side and we square it, that's gonna be equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine of capital A. And so the missing side, small a, is inside this formula. And this formula is helping us to determine, okay, if we want to figure what is the missing side, how we're going to do it, all right? And so the missing side is small a, but the angle that is opposite the missing side, we call that capital A. B and C are the other sides of the triangle, where B in this case is 9 meters and C in this case is 36 meters. And so let's substitute those values. B is 9, C is 36, B is 9, C is 36, and capital A is 112 degrees. Next, we say, okay, what is 9 squared plus 36 squared? Well, that gives us 1,377. Next, we say, what is 2 times 9 times 36? Well, 2 times 9 times 36 is 648. And we have that multiplied by cosine of 112 degrees. And so what we do here is we subtract. So we say 1,377 minus 648 times cosine of 112 degrees. And when we subtract these, we get 1,619.745073. But we need to figure what is a, not a squared. And so we need to get rid of this 2. And so we take the square root of both sides. And so we're able to cancel this root with this power. And so we have that a is equal to the square root of 1,619.745073. And the square root of this number is 40.24605661. And so that's what we have. A is equal to 40.24605661. And so what we want to answer correct to the nearest meter or to the nearest whole number. So we look at this number, and in this case, this number is 2. Since 2 is less than 5, we cannot round up, and so we leave it just as is. So A is equal to 40, and we eliminate all of these numbers behind the decimal point. And so that means that AC, right? That means that AC is going to be equal to 40 meters, and that's the answer to AC, correct to the nearest meter. Next, it says the diagram shows a cross-section of a roof of an airplane hangar, and we have all the information here. AB is equal to 36 meters, BC is equal to 9 meters, and angle ABC is equal to 112 degrees. But in this case, they want us to determine the angle of inclination, the angle of inclination, BAC, to the nearest degree. And so we have B, then A, then C. And so what they want from us is to determine what is the size of this angle, right? This angle right here. We're going to call the missing angle. We're going to call it capital A. All right, that's the missing angle right there, capital A. And we call it capital A because of the cosine rule, where it says that the missing angle is going to be capital A. All right. And so we call the missing angle capital A. And the side that is opposite the missing angle, we call that small a. So small a is equal to 9. And the other sides of the triangle are B and C, where B is equal to 36 meters and C is equal to 40 meters. And so let's substitute these values. We know that B is equal to 36, C is equal to 40, A is equal to, so small a is equal to 9. B is equal to 36 and C is equal to 40. And capital A is still unknown. Now we evaluate the numerator. We say 36 squared plus 40 squared minus 9 squared, and that gives us 2,815. Then we have 2 times 36 times 40, and that gives us 2,880. And so what we have to do is we have to take the cosine inverse of both sides of this equation. And what happens? This cosine inverse cancel out with the cosines. We're just left with A. So A is equal to cosine inverse of 2,815 divided by 2,880. And so when we do that, we get that cosine inverse of this fraction is equal to 12.1960243. But we want to write this correct to the nearest degree. And so we look at this number is 1, it's less than 5. And so that means that we just have that A is equal to 12 degrees. And so the angle, so that means that the angle of inclination, BAC, correct to the nearest degree, is going to be equal to 12 degrees. And that's the answer to this particular question.